Alrighty. Well, I'm going to try to keep a positive attitude throughout this video, but it's kind of hard when Epic releases weapons that are pretty much garbage, but I'm going to stay positive as much as I can. I will talk about the negatives with the new weapon, but the new railgun's out. It's an epic version. First off, I'm going to start off. It's an epic version, and you have to flux it up to get the legendary version, which don't understand why. I feel like weapons that release in item shops should always be legendary. Personally, I think that should just be it. If you need an epic copy of it, I believe that you should actually have a quest line or some way of getting it besides the shop, because I think that's kind of stupid. That's one opinion. I don't know how others feel, but besides that, besides having to spend flux on this to level it up to the legendary copy of it, the weapon itself is just like, I'm not going to sit here and like try to defend this weapon, right? I am kind of happy that we are getting new weapons and we have a new weapon set, and it's just overall good that we're, they're trying to give us more content in Save the World. So I think that's good for them. I really do appreciate that they're trying. And I feel like that should be appreciated enough to the point where sometimes they're going to make mistakes. I mean, the team that is working on this stuff most likely has never done anything for Save the World. Most of the team that has worked on Save the World have probably either gone or like left the entire team itself, or B, have been moved around to the point where they're not even on Save the World anymore. So remember that. Take this in, get that information before we get into talking about the weapon. But anyways, let's get into talking about the weapon. The weapon itself, it's not good. The damage output is just not it. The single target damage is just not it either. Like you can sit and just do a like not even like half health. Like sniper rifles itself should do in like almost not one shot, but nearly almost kill an enemy. But it doesn't work with this weapon. This weapon, it does not do that. Even with the proper perks on it, or the most damage that you could do, even if it had triple damage. Well, it does have triple damage. Even if you had triple damage on it, the damage output is just not it. The current build that I was using was double damage and crit damage, and then the other one that I was using was a reload speed with damage and crit damage. And then I don't think it was damage to mince monsters or bosses. I think it was damage to stun, staggered, frozen, or knock down any targets, but and single target damage. So you're not going to be doing this to multiple enemies at once. You're only going to be doing it to a few enemies. So the damage with this is just not it. I'm like slowly laughing because we expected the weapon to be bad. I honestly, like, Archer, me, a few of us, we've used it in ventures, and it just, the damage and the charge up to it, just, it doesn't make any sense. Now, I honestly do think they may buff this. I mean, they are planning on fixing the other weapons in the set, so I wouldn't, be like, oh, this weapon's garbage, just put it back in BR, because that attitude's not going to get us anywhere, right? You want to be like, okay, this is what they can do to fix it. So that's what this video is, like what they can do to fix this weapon and how this weapon could be better, and just a recommendation to Epic, because this weapon can be better. So what I'm going to say first is some of the perks don't work. First off, this is already known. The 15% health will immediately eliminate them. That perk does not work on any of the weapons, I believe. So that's out of the question. And now the other 6 perks won't even work on this, because first off, the shield one, it's just not worth it. I mean, you already have shield, and the replenish it is just too low for it to actually even matter. And then the 10 stacks by hitting enemies 10 times is not worth it either, because railgun, first off, you're not supposed to hit an enemy 10 times with a sniper, right? The single target damage should instantly kill it, if not nearly kill it, to that one enemy. And then on top of that, you don't need to freeze the enemies, you just need to kill them. So it would make sense to have the damage dealt 10 enemies below 15% will immediately eliminate them, which doesn't work. So they need to fix that perk. I think that will make the weapon decently better. And then the other perks, which I don't understand how they messed this up. I mean, I understand maybe they just didn't understand, but magazine size currently do not work. Magazine size, if you put 1 on this weapon, it will stay at 1. If you put 2, it'll put it to 2. So I think what they thought is maybe the magazine size is each one that you have increases it. So 2 magazine size means 2, and then 1 means 1. But I think that they got it reversed. So 1 magazine size means 2, 2 magazine size means 3, because they're adding another magazine size on the weapon. So I can see how, if you're new to Save the World and you're coding for Save the World, I see how that can get confusing. They probably thought something different. So I'm not going to blame them on the magazine size one. But even if that was fixed, magazine size doesn't really matter because the amount of damage that it's doing is just not worth it. And even shooting back to back like that may help when it comes to single target damage, more enemies to like miss monsters and smashers, but it just doesn't. The damage output there, even it's like you want to have more damage than more shots. From my experience, at least, more damage is better than, you know, shooting multiple times. You know, you'd rather have a weapon that you know, shoots 10 times, kills an enemy, than shoots 20 times and only does half of the damage, and then you have to do that again with the extra clip. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's kind of, you know, the concept of trying to think about it is hard without showing. But the point being is damage is a little bit better when it comes to compared to magazine size, and even if it was working magazine size, which it is, and it, you know, not worth it. So now let's get into the damage kind of aspect of this. Now, as you can see, I have a double damage with the crit damage on it. It was doing decent amount of damage. I mean, it like sometimes would crit and I would do a crazy amount of damage, if not one shot to like basic husk, you know, the little husklings. But when it came to miss monsters, husk, they just didn't do damage. I mean, like you could see either sometimes I can get half of the weapon, or half of the damage on a husk, or even just a smidge to like a miss monster, which I don't know. The weapon's very inconsistent. I mean, the crit damage has a really great effect on it, so testing it a little bit more would, you know, would have effect on that. But the point being is the weapon right now is very unusable. In the future, hopefully they update it to the point where it does more damage. What they could really do is just make it do more damage, and then of course fix the magazine size, and then that 6 perk, which is planned on being fixed. So hopefully they learned from their mistakes, and they, you know, the next weapon set that does come out, or if more weapons come out sooner, they fix, like, they understand how to, you know, balance it to the point where they work. Now you got to remember they're focused on they have like way more other people focused on different things, so they probably work on different things at a time. So, you know, sometimes we're gonna get a bad weapon. I mean, we got a really great weapon, the plasmatic discharger last week, so which sadly is getting nerfed, but it, you know, is kind of expected. But, you know, we're gonna get bad weapons every once in a while. I think the new weapon set that came out, overall it's probably like a C, kind of mid, but they plan on fixing most of the stuff, which I think that's where it's like, okay, you know, they know that they're doing something wrong, they know they need to fix it, and that's, I feel like that give them credit for that. They're working, they're going out of the way to make sure that the weapons are properly balanced and not too overpowered or too weak. They're trying to fix the game, right? So give them credit where it's due, and that's pretty much it. My opinion on the weapon, I think if I had to place it somewhere on a tier list, it's probably a D right now. Hopefully in the future it goes back up. I mean, I think it's really good for single target damage. It isn't really good for crowd clearing. Otherwise, test it out if you really want to do it. I don't recommend using flux on it if you're new to the game. If you want to get in the shop, you can, but I definitely don't think you should flux it up. Otherwise, that's pretty much it on my, you know, my opinion on this weapon. Not a lot of game footage because there's no need to, because the weapon's not that good, and, you know, sitting in a 160 would not be fun, especially with the missions today at the time of this recording. But point being is, if you want to get the weapon, test it out yourself, you can, but my recommendation is don't waste your gold. Well, don't actually buy the weapon for the collection book, but don't buy it to flux it up because it's not that good so far. But if you want to get it, keep it until they fix it, or if they do fix it, you can. But otherwise, that's it. Kind of weird how I'm doing these videos. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you want more of these, let me know down in the comments. Hopefully they add the more weapons so I can be doing and continuing these series. Yeah, whatnot. Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe, like the video. I'd appreciate it a lot. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.